Okay. We're live. All right. Welcome to the block party. Darnell, do you want to say a few things and I'll introduce you?
Well, I just want to thank everyone that is watching this, both live and the eventual replay. I appreciate you in advance for your time. This is a celebratory event. I'm trying to remember to keep those vibes as I go through things here and just to have fun and kind of cut loose a little bit. But of course, I want to give you some game and some value within this and be out your hair after an hour or so here. So let's just have some fun. And Emily, my friend, has given me permission to not overthink things. So I'm going to really try to keep that in mind and be present with you. And again, I thank you for joining us here.
Heck yeah. So if you are on today, you know that, well, and if you don't know, you're about to know that Darnell is one of the most passionate people I have ever met in my life. And he exudes this excitement and energy for building spaces for people that are creative and want to grow not only themselves, but grow their businesses. And he did it. He took action on the thing he's been thinking about for a long time. And that stops a lot of people from actually going and chasing their dreams and doing what they said they were going to do. So I'm excited that you're here today to see what Forge is all about. And I'll tell you that when Darnell told me about this community, I was immediately in because I knew that it was going to be a space where people could collaborate and connect in ways that aren't being done in the same way other places. So Forge has such intentional spaces that he's created and more resources than I've actually been able to use yet. So I'm excited to dive in and use more of the things that he's created. But he created this space for creatives because he is one, and he's creating materials that are going to help people grow their businesses and grow their minds. And I'm excited you're all here today.
Yeah, awesome. And let's see if we get in the chat thing going, because we're in here in the StreamYard part to just see if it's working or not.
All right. So drop a comment if you are tuning in live from LinkedIn or
YouTube or Facebook.
Okay. All right. Megan is excited to be here. We're excited to have you.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Good. Okay. All right. So we about to get into this then.
Yep.
All right. So I will.
Hey, Holly is here too. Yep.
Okay, awesome. So the chat is working. Okay,
it is working. Yeah.
I'm gonna have you keep an eye on that. I'm gonna move Emily backstage and then bring on my slide deck to help me with my notes. And okay, all right. So let me do that now. Oh well. All right, yeah, thanks for letting me know that y'all are in the chat again. I appreciate you. So today we are here to turn inaction into inaction. And this is a block party with myself and co-hosted by my good friend and peer, Emily Bisson. And I appreciate her for giving me a warm intro and for what you had said. I very much appreciate that. I presume you can all see my screens, but let me know if you can, if there are any issues, but otherwise I will get right into this. So on the agenda, I'm going to give you a quick introduction to who I am while you're listening to me. We're going to go through our welcome party for our existing members. We talk a little bit about Forge, but also how turning inaction into inaction, where those two things align, right? We got some prizes that we're going to do for some of the live attendees here. We're going to recap things, and then we'll open up the floor for Q&A. So let me know in the chat if that sounds good with you, and we'll keep this thing moving right along. And I want to keep this a high energy vibe because remember, we're in celebratory mode here. And so I'm going to be asking you questions throughout. I want you to be present with me. You know, we'll try to get you in and out of here within an hour or so. And so if you could be completely present with me as much as possible, I would greatly appreciate it. And so would our guests that are here today. Okay, so I am, again, Darnell Brown, growth strategist and designer. I help creative and non-creative entrepreneurs power up and impact lives in a myriad of ways. many ways that we don't have time to go into right now, but a lot of you are coming in from LinkedIn, so you might already know that about me. Band-Aid, Johnson & Johnson, Aveda, these are some of the brands, the larger known ones that I've worked with over the years in various capacities: graphic designer, creative director, marketing guy. I've worn many hats over the last 15 years as a creative entrepreneur. So that's a little bit about me. I love to start out by just ripping off the Band-Aid and talking about my misfires. So this was in 2008 when my girlfriend, who's now my wife, she was a girlfriend at the time. I just had this, I guess, going through a really prideful time, I suppose, and just being young and kind of foolish. But I'd already ascended to the highest possible place that I could be at the promotional products firm that I worked at coming straight out of college in 2004. I graduated in 2003 with an associate's in graphic design. 2004, around 4 months or so ago, later, I got hired. And 4 years after that point, so now we're in 2008, I was like, okay, I want something more than what exists. And I was trying to send out resumes and everything, but nothing was happening. Nobody would get back at me. I couldn't land any interviews, nothing. And I just had an epiphany one morning, and I said, you know what? Maybe this means I'm supposed to bet on myself. And so I put in my 2-week notice. I had no lines of credit. I had no savings. I had no one that I could depend on to turn this into something. I kind of backed myself into a corner. And again, I recognize that now, here at age 39, that was a very foolish time. Let me know in the chat if y'all could relate. Being in your early 20s, some very stupid financially related decisions. Fortunately for mine, it wasn't credit card debts at that point in time, but quitting a stable job, 2 weeks notice, a new house, new car, but no cushion whatsoever. And I had to work myself up out of that. And that meant working 80-plus-hour weeks. That meant amassing that over $20,000 in student debt that I still had to pay off at a certain point. So let me know in the chat if you can relate with this. Or am I the only one in my 20s that did stupid stuff? Turn things around over these last 15 years, but these are highlights since then. Top 30 under 30 winner back in 2014. I launched a new course and this community, Forge, this year. Helped launch Band-Aid's Our Turn product. We were, myself and another creative entrepreneur, were helping craft the story around that. And I'm certified in workshops and business coaching. Father of 3. I got a fur baby who's not with us right now, but also 2 businesses. And at this point, yeah, probably served around 300 clients just again over these last 15 years. And for those that care, I've had some 6-figure years thrown in there, but it's not necessarily about that. That's why I put it last, but that may be impressive to some people. Who knows? So those are my highlights. Okay, now that we got that out the way, I hope I've given you kind of a speed version of who I am and my credentials and things. So getting into turning inaction into action and where Forge fits in. I like to think of Forge as community, accountability, and growth. And it's this online ecosystem. My big purpose statement that my peer Laura Zug helped me create is that it brings together purpose-driven creative entrepreneurs, heart-led, right, to learn, bond, and grow so that we can challenge ourselves, test our ideas, and make the impact that we crave. So this was how I designed it. And if I was to share it with you in a nutshell, that's what this space that I've created back in June, this is what this is and means. So I want to again celebrate our existing members because I can't thank y'all enough. Yeah, let's rate. I want to toast to y'all, to our existing members, and everyone that's watching this right now through whatever's going on this Thursday, to just celebrate your own progress through this point, your own growth. I want this to be about all of us, to raise your beverage, whatever you're drinking. I'll take a little sip. And I won't go off on too much of a riff, or I might get a little bit emotional about it. But yeah, I just really appreciate those who took a chance and my early adopters when I didn't really have much to show for the community except for some decent graphics, right? And nobody was in there. And to, ask people to part with their money and invest in something that was still being built. And this was just 2 or 3 months ago. I really appreciate you for those watching this now and those watching this in the future. Thank you for betting on me, betting on yourselves, for investing and being a part of this, for co-creating this with me. I appreciate you. And I want to actually, before I show y'all some love, I'd like to bring on a few people, a few of our existing members, to just share maybe one thing that really resonates with you about this community. And again, it's really early days. We're only roughly 100 days in to this micro community, but I'm going to invite a few people onto the stage real quick just to say a few things. You don't have to stay too long. We'll start here with Brandon, because I know he has to go here pretty soon. I'm going to add him to the stage. You just got to unmute yourself if you can hear us.
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So thanks for joining me in here, Brandon. Yeah, what's something about Forge that resonates with you? And we get way back to you, but we'll save all that for another day.
I just like how Forge is like a very inspiring community. As anybody who strives for things and tries to attain their goals knows, it's not the most common trait. So a lot of us don't have friends that do that, or don't have anybody that we can really relate to. And so Forge is just that community of people to where you can share ideas, you can share thoughts, and just share your experiences with other like-minded people. And that's what really, really resonates with me when it comes to Forge.
Okay, bad. Yeah, I appreciate that. And yeah, I know you gotta run right now. So I will let you go. And I know we're on time as well too, but thank you for sharing that with me. I didn't know that. Yeah, for those watching this now, I didn't know that from Brandon until he just said it at this point. So I'm glad that that's what sticks out for you. And I hope that you stay a member with us for a lifetime. And I guess we'll see you in the community. I hope things go well at your appointment, and I catch up with you on the flip side, right?
Thank you.
All right, man.
All right.
Now I will bring in Megan to share one or two things that you love with the community here. I'll add her to the stage now. Hey, Megan.
Hey, how's it going?
Going well. Thank you for willing to get on camera and talk to people, because it's not just about what I think about it, but Megan is an existing member too. Yeah. So what are your thoughts?
I love Forge for, not to repeat what Brandon said, but I love the community and the support. And I also love the different types of support that comes with it. Like we've had our Pomodoro sessions, or, you've popped in with a cool new workshop, or members will share like new strategies and that sort of thing for like building their business or advertising their new offerings, stuff like that. So it's just a wealth of knowledge and such a great opportunity to create some connections. And I've met a couple of my newest biz besties right in Forge. So, including you.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you for sharing that. Again, both, Brandon and Megan, I didn't know this about either of y'all until we're talking about this in real time. So I very much appreciate y'all, talking about what you all enjoy about it. We're all co-creating together. That's the big thing. And we're collaborating. And they both know from just our one-to-one conversations that I really do want this to be a co-creation. It's not a monarchy or anything, or like this pyramid structure. It's flat and it's a circle. And I want us, especially our founding members, to influence what this ends up becoming. So I appreciate you sharing your piece as well, when it comes to that. All right. Well, I will move on to the rest of this. And I know you're going to still hang on here, and I'll just bring you backstage and bring back on our deck. But thank you so much again, Megan. I'm so glad that you find value in it. And I hope that you remain a member as well for a lifetime. And I hope that it helps you turn inaction into inaction in some area of your business. So,
absolutely. Thank you so much, Darnell.
Yeah. Okay. So moving back on here. All right, y'all. I imagine that y'all can see my screen. Let me know in the chat what y'all thought about what Megan and Brandon said. If those things resonate with you, if those things are important to you as well when it comes to some communities that you are already a part of, I'd love to know. And I'll have Emily and Megan in there in the chat, just kind of seeing what y'all say. All right, so I wanted to show our existing members some love. And this is what I have for y'all. So for our founding members, we have a quite a small number of them, but again, this is a micro community that's not too old. I'm giving each of you, effective immediately, a free lifetime upgrade to Forge Plus. And we'll talk about what Forge Plus is later on in this, but it's only a few people that already have upgraded to that version of what we have, but I wanted to extend that to y'all for life. I'm going to give each of you all as well a 100-day membership extension. So whenever, because the members are all on different billing cycles. So before that next period comes up, it'll be 100 days from that point. So for those members who have already signed up for a year or for 6 months, for instance, it would just happen at that point in time, right? So to celebrate 100 days, I wanted to give you 100 days for giving those to me. I'm going to give you as well a free 14-day trial pass for Forge that you can pass on to a friend of yours. So each of our founding members get that. I don't offer any trial passes to the community whatsoever. So this is new and I'm trying to branch out a little bit with things. I'm going to give you a free $50 gift card at a retailer of your choice. That's coming your way too. And yeah, it should be like 50 of them. You're going to use this company called Tremendous, and they are awesome. And you know, you can apply that where you want to. It's just a gift from me to you. And then finally, this your vibe attracts your tribe, because we're talking about community. This is a graphic tee here. I kind of show you the design of it, but it's something I did a while back, but this was one of the most popular shirts. And so I thought that y'all might like that. So I got to get y'all addresses after that point, but that's me wanting to celebrate y'all. And I hope that I can give back to you in that way and pay it forward to you for believing again in me and in this and in yourselves and in trusting me. And I hope that you will enjoy those gifts. Okay, moving right along, we're going to talk about inaction, independence, and inexperience. I'm kind of an alliteration junkie. So, and I like things in three. So you'll see a little bit of that. That's kind of just my personality, but it doesn't mean much. However, when I was thinking about inaction and the community powered experience, some of us may be going through one of these three things or all of them, no matter where we are in our business, right? And I want to tie this into where we're going. Okay, so if you're burdened by inaction, right? So you're stuck in a place, or you haven't made progress on something, right? There could be stagnancy or complacency. I've got a space that challenges us to act on an okay idea. Y'all have seen me talk about this a little bit on LinkedIn, since we learn more by experimenting than we do by theorizing. But inaction also comes from being too independent, or being alone in our own thoughts, or thinking that we don't have other people around us who are going through what we're going through, or what if we fail? What if nobody shows up? What if nobody buys, right? And I like to think of things by these small actions. And that's one of the tips that I wanted to give you all today was, don't look at, just on my level, what I'm talking about on a meta level of building a community or building a course, but to start with, okay, I want to teach something, or I want to provide someone with a transformation. And what can I reverse engineer to make just a micro step in that direction today? Because in looking at a cliched version of things, to run a marathon, if you're going to practice for that, it would be unwise to just like find your running shoes and try to run around the block, or like get your outfits. You still could get overwhelmed. But if you start with just waking up and putting on your slippers, right, of just like making that type of progress, little by little, you can begin to compound on things and your own success. And that's what I've learned over the last 15 years has worked very well. Knowing what that major goal is, but breaking things down into saying, well, what if my success barometer was different than what this big goal is? What if it's smaller? What if it's just proving it to myself versus other people? Let me know in the chat if you feel what I'm saying. I'd love to know, so that I know it's not just me. But anytime I look at a big goal, working on a book, right? That's another thing that a lot of us are doing, our memoirs, us creatives. Well, don't even think about finishing a book or what your publisher needs you to do at this point. What if you could just come up with a word at this point, or be prompted in a way to just say one sentence at a time? Because you don't have to have those major goals at the end of things just to be able to take action, right? But this space that I've created and have been co-creating with our members, because they are part of this too, is about, okay, this is just it's a mediocre idea perhaps, or it's half-baked, but even that has merit to it, because I got so many friends who are not entrepreneurs who sit on great ideas. I don't know why they have the best ideas, by the way, like better than I can come up with, but they won't ever act on them. And I can't inspire them. Like, you can bring the horse to the water, but you can't make them drink it. It doesn't matter what they see from me or my successes. We won't be aligned in that way. But for my peers and creative entrepreneurs watching this, right? Think about your mediocre ideas that you have stopped on because you felt that it was like not that good, or you didn't share it with people, right? But when you start to get energy around it and see what other people think, and you start to bounce off ideas, like that can add some growth to things. So I want, like, creating Forge might have been a mediocre idea at that point in time. I still acted on it. I still like tested out things, right? And that's what we have to do, is just peel back and say, what is one micro step? And even if this is a half-baked thing, what can we still turn this into? How can we still test it? How can we still run with it? If you're burdened by independence, right? Always doing things on your own. This is probably the one I struggle with the most. It's very hard for me to ask for help. I don't like, that makes me very uncomfortable. There's probably pride in there as well, of saying, well, I should be able to do it. I don't want to lean on people. I don't want to like ask people for favors, because if they end up disappointing you or they end up not being there, then it's just like, well, see, that's why I don't ask for favors. So you end up depending on yourself. Let me know in the chat if you are hyper independent when it comes to your work, if it's hard for you to delegate things to other people or even partner with people on projects. I know one of our guests here, Natasha, is, your professional love language is collaboration. So almost kind of the pole opposite. But if you struggle with independence like I do, let us know in the chat. I resonate with that. That's why I wanted to create this space, so that I could get out of my shell, a space that fosters co-creation and connection, because I've learned through other communities and experiences that the community-powered ones really changed the game for me. It really catapulted my success and my own results. And it helped me learn something about myself, regardless if we're introverted, if we're shy, if we are a little bit awkward, perhaps, or even neurodivergent. There's still people like us. And sometimes not all communication is verbal. And so just being able to share ideas, or foods that we like, or places that we go, can have its own influence. So I wanted to do that, like, as a very personal reason. I was burdened by independence, to put myself out there in a different way and say, well, I got to walk the talk. It's not just about thinking about it or about going in other communities, but what would this look like if I could create it, and could this still feel cozy but still challenge me, right? If you're burdened by inexperience, to those of you watching this that are aspiring creative entrepreneurs, or maybe you're just in your first year, how to look at things when you don't have as much experience, or the clients ain't ringing your phone off the hook or sending you a bunch of emails. Well, I tried to create a space to give back so that we can build upon our collective failures and successes and knowledge, because the community powered experience and the community powered learning element, it just compounds and it just blooms, and there's a hive mind element to it, right? So you're always testing things, you're always bouncing ideas off. It's like you got your own bubbles and they're always colliding and making, new bubbles and new Venn diagrams. This hive mind element, I just really felt like, man, there's nothing like it. Being in my own thoughts for so long, and not getting out there over these last 15 years and really just starting like 6 months ago. It feels great. I feel like I've met some of my besties for life as well. And so if it's inexperience, get the support from somewhere, from other experienced people. And they don't have to be experts. They could just be somebody that's a week ahead of you or a month ahead of where you are at this given time, just to be able to compound on what they learn. We often think that they have to have a title or they have to be a certified mentor or coach or something, but it can be because everybody knows something that you don't. And so you're inexperienced with things, but just understanding people, understanding how people work and what makes them tick will turn you from inaction to inaction, because you're saying, well, I need to show up differently. I've learned this. I have been through this experience. And it wasn't the experience that I thought it would be with who I thought it would be as well, but it still happened. And we have to be open to those things to say, well, experience can come from anywhere, just like inspiration can. But is our radar open to that? Let me know in the chat if you understand what I'm trying to convey here between independence and inaction and experience. And matter of fact, maybe in the chat, let us know, do you struggle with one of those two things? Do you struggle with inaction as a 1, or independence 2, or 3, inexperience? Is there anything going on in your business where like that's one that sticks out? Just drop a 1, 2, or 3 in the chat and let me know if you're still with me. Moving right along. What if we changed our success barometer? When I'm talking with my clients and with my peers too, I really just try to get them to think about self-validation. It doesn't matter if you're B2B or B2C. To stop thinking so much in terms of external validation or clicks and likes and engagement and things, and to say, well, what if I just did this for me? Can I prove it to myself? If I built a space for purpose-driven creative entrepreneurs and nobody showed up, my first success barometer, and I know it because I really created it, it was, can I build this space in 2 weeks? That was the first thing. It wasn't welcoming members. It wasn't hitting a certain acquisition amount or retaining people. That was my first barometer. I had to prove it to myself that I could do it with everything else that was going on. And then once I achieved that, then comes the next success barometer. Okay, can I create an email to announce it to people, right? I'm just kind of walking you through big undertakings when it comes to my process, and why I'm still able to show up confidently with the work that I put out is because I'm validating it for myself internally and for my own proof and my own confidence, because that's what matters most. If you don't have the external validation, then you're going to always kind of be clamoring for that, right? You're going to be clamoring for sales and things. And obviously they don't pay the bills, and that's a whole nother story. But for your own validation to say, okay, if there's a Sarah or a Jane or Mike or somebody that's watching this right now, to say, well, what is this person? What do I think about myself when there's nothing else? When I go to bed at night, how do I feel about my own accomplishments? And be real personal and self-aware about that. Because this also is about Forge, I designed it to be these 3 things. Now it's happening and it's still growing in these ways, but this was the way that I designed it: to be a charging station, a growth lab, and an ethical community. Actions over ideas, this ethos, this kind of code that I live by, so that I actually get something done versus just sitting on things forever. And I said I wanted this to be like the central ethos of the whole thing. Let's test your ideas together. If it's bugging you and it's an itch that needs to be scratched, well, let's co-create it then. Perhaps it is an idea trying to be born, but we're misinterpreting our nervousness for like, okay, it's not going to go right, or what if nobody buys, what if nobody cares or anything. And so that's why I'm like, for it to turn inaction into inaction, change the success barometer, make it smaller, make it micro, make it not tethered, make it untethered to the market and things you can't control anyway. A growth lab, right? So this charging station element to say, okay, if things are going down, well, this is an ecosystem just like a forest where we can pass energy to one another, because we ain't gonna always have the best days, right? But we can lift somebody else up that's going through one thing. And this growth lab element is, okay, well, let's test it. What does that mean to test it? Can we practice one or two things at once? And again, compound on the collective experience to get more done in a quick amount of time. So if I'm writing a chapter for a book, okay, well, these are 3 topics that I got, y'all. What do we think should happen earlier in the book? And, is it okay to just kind of share this in progress? I designed Forge to be that for people, a lab where we can grow our own ideas and our own actions and learn some new things, even about ourselves. Last but not least, an ethical community, right? So ethical, inclusive, respectful, right? Obviously enthusiastic, bringing just good energy where you can be your most authentic self, whatever that is to you. And perhaps that's still evolving too. Maybe you're not in a fixed state. Maybe things are constantly changing, and that's okay. We all got that permission to still grow and evolve. And just, again, to bond with these value aligned creative entrepreneurs. So even if you don't take anything else away from this, even if, you take Forge out the picture, with any of these 3 things, let me know in the chat, a 1, 2, or 3 from any communities that you may already be in. Which one of these 2 things stick out to you the most? Do you like going into a community where they can lift you up and you can lift up other people? So a charging station ecosystem type of thing, or a place where you can test your ideas, or a place where you just, okay, well, I can just be myself and we can go through things together, right? Would any of those 1 things be great for you in terms of a place you want to be around? Let us know a 1, 2, or 3 here for charging station, growth lab, or ethical community. Okay, I'll be super quick here. I wanted to show you a little bit of the inside of Forge, just so that you can know, because I don't have any screenshots throughout this slide. So let me just share my other window real quick. Give me a second. Present. I'm using StreamYard for the first time. Do we have anybody in the chat that uses StreamYard? It's my first time using it. Share screen. Okay. 2 seconds. I appreciate y'all waiting. Okay, so here we go. Share. Okay, so this is our homepage. I built Forge on Circle, and I like the platform because I wanted it to be kind of an all-in-one solution. I didn't want us to have to move around and hop between multiple different platforms, right, to get what we need to get through done. But just quickly, some of these spaces that we talked about, where the learn spaces for the inaction, the people that are challenged by inaction, the bond space, the people that are challenged by independence, and then grow, the people that are challenged by inexperience, right? So we start here when people first get onboarded, and I got a welcome video and tell you, give you some steps to take along in your journey so that you know where you needed to go. But yeah, so quite a few things going on in here. These spaces are designed here on the side. The start here page is probably one of the most visited. We got an Ask the Community section here on this side where, let's talk about it. Let's go through your ideas. Where we got a network directory too. So if you want to work with other people, you're looking to hire people, I thought, or to be hired, like, let's see what that looks like. What can we co-create as well? A place for sharing your wins, a place for promoting your work, as I think that's important too. Not necessarily to sell to us within the community, even though it might be something that we could buy, but also to just let people know what you are up to. Perhaps someone else in the community could share it to their network, or they might know someone that is good for. We got courses in here, workshops, playbooks. I'm uploading podcast episodes in here, challenges, because that keeps us going as well too. But again, I was just trying to give you a super quick, brief preview. There's a longer one on my website at darnellbrown.com/forge. I think I have like a 10-minute video or something that walks you through things more in depth. But I think that's all we got time for here. Okay. But if anybody had any questions, it's all good. We'll save those to the end and we'll go from there. Okay. So let me go back to my other screen. All right. Time for some prizes for our live attendees. So I'm going to bring you on, Emily, so that you can help me out with this. If there have been, has there been people talking in the chat? I haven't been looking. Oh, you're muted. You're muted.
Ah, got it. Okay, thank you. Yes, there have been lots of good comments. Lots of people are excited to be here. So that's awesome. But one thing I can't tell is who is still on live. So if you are still on live and want to be entered into the drawing for some prizes, I want you to put in the comments, bring the action, and you'll be entered to win. And I'll have Darnell. How many prizes are we giving away, Darnell? 3?
Yeah, we'll do 3. We'll do 3 prizes. I think that's a good number. And I told y'all I'm addicted to 3s anyway. So
okay, awesome. So bring the action in the chat wherever you're seeing this from, and I'll have Darnell pick 3 numbers, and we'll draw a couple winners.
Yeah. All right. We'll give them a second or two, and then we can scroll back if there are people that said things before. And apologies that we didn't get to mention that at the beginning, but I hope that y'all have been conversing with me in the chat anyway, because I wanted this to be a dialogue. So if you've been talking back to me, I think that's going to increase your chances because you've been talking a lot. And so maybe that name is continued to pop up.
Yeah.
I don't know how you want to do this though, Emily, in terms of randomly drawing, but you said you want me to come up with a number. Think of a number.
Okay, hold on. Yes, because I've been writing them down. And I will, so pick a number.
Between.
Hold on 1 second. Just making sure I didn't miss anybody. Between 1 and 7.
We'll do 5.
Okay, Robin Finney is a winner. Woo woo.
Okay, we'll talk about what Robin wins in a minute. Okay, do you need me to pick another number? Congratulations, Robin.
Yes, pick another number.
Let's do. I do like even numbers. Let's go with 2.
Okay, we got Laura Zug.
What, Laura Zug? Oh wow, I didn't know that she would even make it here. Well, congratulations, friend. Okay, and one more.
Okay, one more, but one more.
One more number. Okay, let's do. We got to do 3 though, right? Or is that?
Yeah,
it's got to be 3.
Okay.
Lucky number
Kinga.
7.
Kinga is 3, number 3.
Oh, okay. Congratulations, Kinga, Robin, and Laura on your prizes. Let's see what your prizes are. So each winner is going to get a 30-day complimentary pass to Forge. And again, I have not, for the first 100 days, not offered any complimentary trials, anything unless I was beta testing things with someone, but that's not something that I offer. So that's big for me to be stepping out and doing that. And our founding members know, who are here with us live, that they paid at the moment to get in and to see it for themselves. Also, I'm going to give each of you $25 gift card to a retailer of your choice and a signed copy of my 2017 book. So 6 years ago, that I'm so bad at promoting, The Bulletproof Hustler, but every now and then, like, people start asking about it, and it's only 50 pages long. So it's an extremely fast read. I'm actually doing you a favor by giving you a very, very small read. So I'll sign that. And actually, let me see. I do have a copy up here. Let me show you that. There we go. Yeah, and see, it's so thin that I couldn't even put the title on the spine. Amazon wouldn't let me do that. So anyway, Emily, I will get, if you don't mind, you can private DM each of those people separately to get their PO box or their address, so I can send them their copy of the book. And I hope that you enjoy these gifts and the gift cards as well too. So your email addresses, I would say.
I'll reach out to each of you on LinkedIn, and we'll get all that information.
Okay. Now, it comes with a caveat, these gifts. So if you can't agree to these terms, you can nominate someone else. But one of the reasons that I try to refrain from doing free passes for things is because, when we get free passes for stuff, sometimes we take advantage or we don't treat it too seriously because we don't have any skin in the game, right? So your mission, should you choose to accept it, Ethan Hunt, is to make the most of this offer by prioritizing it. And so during those 30 days, right, you're making a commitment, a digital handshake between our existing members that says you're going to invest some energy into turning inaction into inaction in some area of your business, wherever that may be, and definitely to getting started on Forge and using it for its power, using it while it exists. Don't be the person that takes something for free and don't take advantage of it. If you already know that you're going to do that, Robin, Laura, or Kinga, we might want to nominate someone else. So I just want to be clear about that. It's a digital handshake, but if you commit to accepting these gifts, I would, let's do that. Let's turn inaction into inaction, both from the community standpoint and in your own business. Do we hear it from any of them in the comments about them saying, "Nah, this is not going to work for me"? Did anybody decline?
I don't see anything.
Okay.
But if you do decide that you're not ready to be part of this kick-ass community, let us know, because there's a line. There's a line of people that are excited to be part of it. So, okay, Robin says she commits to accepting the gifts and being in action. Kinga has given us a handshake.
Yes, awesome.
Awesome. And Laura says, so generous, Darnell. So I think Laura's in too. We're action takers. Amazing. Okay.
Let's do it. All right. So to recap, let's remove her real quick. Okay. We talked about my misfires and highlights as a person, as Darnell Brown, as the person talking to you now. We celebrated our members. We talked about how Forge empowers creative entrepreneurs, but also talked about where those lines are between inaction and into inaction. We did a prize giveaway for you all as well. And I hope that makes sense. And I hope that I've given you some value thus far throughout this presentation. Emily actually came up with this idea, but let us know in the chat, what's your biggest takeaway from all that we went over? And I can go back to really quickly to my recap screen, right? So, right, these are just headlines almost, but what is your biggest takeaway? Are you struggling in an area in a season of inaction, of independence, or of inexperience somewhere, right? We talked about changing your success barometer. Let us know in the chat what has stuck out with you the most thus far in our time together. And Emily, I'm gonna bring you back on stage here. If anyone responds to that, I'd love to know kind of what people's biggest takeaways were. We'll give them a second to ask. What about for you, Emily? You've seen this the slide deck a little bit. You were able to preview it. But did anything kind of stick out to you just for you and your own business? I'd love to know.
Yeah, I mean, the breakdown of the different ways that we kind of get in our own way and not take action on things because we're stuck in trying to do it all by ourselves, or that we just don't know what the next step is to take. And so having this space to be able to learn and grow and collaborate together is so huge. And in the comments, Laura says being gentle with myself and changing my success barometer. That's a big one. How many of us like put ourselves at like a ridiculous standard that is not unattainable, but like a really big stretch that maybe we could bring it back down to a level that we can actually achieve it in a, meaningful amount of time. So it's not a way off goal. Anybody else? Big things that you've taken away today? Krista says, love what you're doing.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. I mean, building this community just on a meta level, having the idea in May, building it in June, launching it on like July 4th weekend, basically, where everybody was out of town, and in the summer where everybody's traveling and things, complete uphill battle. I didn't know any better. And I think I kind of got into this not having it all planned out. But again, on a meta level, turning inaction into action. I could have just sat on this idea. Nope, I don't got the time. I don't got the hours for it, right? And just saying, well, don't think about members. Don't even think about them. Build the space for yourself. Like build what you need for yourself that doesn't exist, and stop making excuses and just say, well, you know what? Let me pay the money that it's going to cost to have this, and just for the platform, and whatever happens in 30 days, because I'm spending around $200 a month for the Forge space, just in terms of like on that platform as a whole. But whatever happens, I was like, that's a $200 bet that I'm willing to make regardless. So
yeah. Well, and that's the thing, is that you've got to build it for yourself. And then the people that are meant to be there will come and they'll see it. And there are a couple other comments. Robin says, breaking down action items to micro steps, manifesting generator over here, me too, who thinks they can do it all at once. Laura says, my coach tells me that I'm the worst boss, to me, not my team. Kinga says, inexperienced forging new paths is always better with fun friends. Katie says, I agree, Laura. My success barometer needs a little help. Overachiever here. I think a lot of us can relate to that, especially if you're connected to Darnell. You've got that bug too. Tyler says the micro steps and being part of a group of like-minded entrepreneurs. And
I love that. Yeah. I love that. And I mean, if again, it's just like, that was the game changer for me, is just like, let me validate this for myself and not the external stuff, because I know we like that. And we sometimes need to know whether or not something is good. But I really have tried to get away from that over these past several months, I would say, of just saying, okay, the social validation side is good when stuff works. It's good when it becomes sticky or when things go viral, but I'm not doing it for that. It's a very personal reason at first. And so what I mean by that, y'all, is when your success barometer is that, then if you have nobody else to please but yourself and your own, like who you were yesterday, you're only competing with the ghosts of your past, then all of that other stuff doesn't matter. And you won't go into depressive states to be wondering about those things. Now I know that doesn't pay the bills, obviously. But that's a different conversation, and perhaps a different webinar that we'll do and talk about when it comes to that balance between work that you need to do versus the work that you want to do. But anyway, I appreciate y'all letting me know that here in the chat. So what are you waiting for when it comes to what you need to take action on and what makes sense for you? Because we've got this space that we're co-creating. The culture is still being developed. It's still evolving. And I think that's a feature and not a bug of it. We have our guiding principles, right? We know where we are not willing to bend or budge, our non-negotiables, and the things that are fluid and dynamic, and being able to find that balance. But that happens when you design something, as Laura Zug would say as well, too, of a circular space for people and not a pyramid. And so I know that as long as we have people in there, and for as long as our founding members will be here, it will be something to behold and something special. And so lastly, of course, I have to tell you a little bit more, because you might be wondering, how can you get in on this? If you're like, man, I can't take it, this is amazing. If you're saying that to Emily right now, if you said that in the chat, here's what we got here. So I'm going to move actually us over. So these are the 2 memberships that are going on right now, the 2 different plans. I won't read through everything on the screen, but you can take a snapshot and perhaps save it for later. But we got Forge and Forge Plus. And yeah, I ripped off the Forge Plus thing from like Disney Plus and Apple Plus and all that. I ain't afraid to admit it. It just kind of works. But then it sort of looks like the word forget, and you can't unsee it a little bit. But anyway, moving along. So all of this, $29 a month. I'm still at my founding member discount. I wanted to extend that to y'all because this is basically our official welcome party and our official launch party of saying, hey, we exist and we're out here. And 2 different plans that you could get on, okay? And again, take a screenshot. I won't read them all for you, but there's a lot going on in here. Again, I got over 15 years of experience as a creative entrepreneur, almost 300 different clients served across all different types of sizes. So I know I have a lot to bring into there, from things that I want to share and things that are forthcoming. But it's a pretty lively place already in terms of it being pretty full in there, I would say. What would you say, Emily? Like, it's not overwhelming, but there's a lot of stuff in there for it to be 100 days.
Totally. And I mean, $29 and $59. Come on. Isn't Zoom like $29 at this point right now? So if you want a place where you can learn and grow and collaborate and meet new people that are doing the things that they said they were going to do, this is like less than a couple cups of coffee at Starbucks if you get the fancy drinks for the $29. And this is less than going out to dinner with your partner or your friends for the $59. I mean, you can't go out to dinner for less than $100 these days, which is crazy. So you're going to get a whole lot for this.
Yeah, come, check it out. Take it on a month-to-month basis. We're talking about inaction into action, right? Baby steps, micro steps. See what you think for 30 days, right? See, is that worth it for you? Could you be willing to invest in yourself? You're going to come out the other end changed, I would say. I don't think that you could come in this place and rub shoulders with us and not come away changed at all from who you are today. But I even got something even more sweet for y'all, right? So next 5 people to join our community with us are going to get 20% off their first cycle. And I say first cycle because we have some options for like coming in for 6 months or a quarter, or even paying for the whole year. Right. So you have options here, and we'll, Emily, I'll have you drop in the coupon code for that for the people that need to know. Right. So that's going to make it even, like, now it was already less than $1 a day, just the regular Forge plan, but now it's like probably 75 cents. So the coupon code right now is Block Party 5. 5 is for like 5 people. So Block Party 5, put that in on the checkout page. Emily, when you got a chance, you can copy over those cart page links, and that's where people can go to if they want to check out what options that they have. But the next 5 people to join, an additional 20% off. So I'm giving each of y'all something at this point, or at least the opportunity to take advantage of that. Yeah, let's hang out, celebrate with us, be a part of this together. Some of the people here have taken that chance. They've bet on themselves, and I've put together this space, right? But we all got a part to play into what it ends up becoming, because it's an ecosystem and it's not a monarchy. And isn't that a good thing? Isn't that what you want? All right. Any questions?
So I put in
we got a couple minutes left.
Yeah, I put in the chat on LinkedIn the darnellbrown.com/forge because the comments in here won't go back to LinkedIn. So I put it in the LinkedIn. If you saw that, Krista, do you see that?
She's asking me.
And she asked, what does monthly mean? Is there any annual discount?
Correct. There is an annual discount. So Emily, when you shared those 2 checkout links for Forge and Forge Plus on that actual page, did you share those already, Emily?
I did not. Yeah.
Oh, okay. They're in the private channel. You got them.
I know. I got to pull it over to LinkedIn. So let me do.
Yep. No worries. Take your time. So just to answer her question, yes, there are discounts for taking a bet for a longer period of time. I think we have a 6-month and a quarterly plan as well as an annual one. And so you have the opportunity to not only get in at our founding member price special, which won't always be active. I don't know when we're going to take it down, but it's already a 50% off discount. And then you can get another 20% off, of course, if you're one of the first 5 people to join. And then you can compound that by joining for a longer period of time, because again, there are discounts at those semi-annual, quarterly, and annual levels. Any other questions while we have a few more minutes here? Anybody? I will check out the comments. I guess I can open that now myself. I've already been asking a lot from Emily as it is. Yeah. Any questions that we didn't get to? Oh, I can't. You're muted, Emily.
Again? Oh,
Yep. Now you're good.
Okay. I think I got it.
Okay. Were there any other questions that we didn't get to that people asked perhaps earlier in the chat or anything? Are we good? Anything now? It couldn't have been that thorough for you. Any questions about?
So lots of people said, I love that. Katie said, I love the idea of community that's lifting each other up and sharing knowledge to help one another. And Melanie says, you have no one else to please but yourself.
Mm.
Okay.
I mean, yeah, that's
Okay.
that's the whole idea of it all. Natalie, Megan as well too. Since we didn't have any other questions, should I be bringing you all for anything on? You asked for the coupon code. We're good on that. So I'll type that in here one more time for people, just in case. I'm just now opening up the chat.
Okay. All right. You put that in the private chat. So Block Party 5, is that all caps? Is that going to make a difference?
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. But yeah, we can just use all caps for simplicity.
Okay.
Can we pop it into the chat?
You can't pop it in. You got to go directly to LinkedIn or to.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Can't program is to some destination. I see. Understood.
So okay, cool. So if you've tried the Block Party 5 lowercase and it didn't work, try the uppercase and see if that works for you.
Yeah. Oh, it does matter. Okay, I didn't know that. My bad.
Okay, all caps. So my bad for putting it in wrong.
That's on me. I should have said all caps lock, but yeah. Okay. Well, if we didn't have any other questions, and Emily, you didn't have anything else that you wanted to share, for where people can find you and what you're up to, and I hope that I've given people value and everything. I always going to worry about that, but I hope this has been enlightening for people. I hope that this felt celebratory. Sorry that I didn't have much music going on, but I hope that we still brought the vibes and for coming to this block party here. This is our big our welcome party in an open house.
And hey, there were like 80 people that registered to come to this. So make sure you connect with people in the comments so that you can grow your network of like-minded entrepreneurs. And yeah, let's keep taking action on things.
All right, y'all, let's do it. So thank y'all again for watching. Y'all know how to reach me if needed. Thank you so much for coming. And maybe we'll do another block party sometime soon, because it doesn't have to be just one, but we only got one welcome party, of course, but maybe, who knows? We'll see what the feedback is, but let us know what y'all thought of this. And I will end the stream and stay on with my other guests. All right, bye y'all.